Hello everybody and welcome to this video. Today I will be unboxing a one-up mechanical gaming keyboard. I'm guessing it's from Japan or China or whatever language all of that is. And I'm looking forward to unboxing this as this is my first ever mechanical keyboard. It says it uses Cherry MX Blue switches, which are those nice clicky ones that I really like. Let's go ahead and look at the inside of it. I will just say it came in a standard generic box, nothing really special about it. In case you wonder what happened there, that's the address label that I did try and peel off and then it just ripped, so I stuck some gaffer tape over it. Anyway, let's get on with the unboxing. Right, it's this way around. Let's show the camera first. Ta-da! There's a keyboard. Right, so now what we need to do, you need to pull that bit up to get the cable out, put your hands underneath the keyboard and lift. Let me just put the keyboard down. The box I'll just put off to one side. Now I'm going to take these bits out and I'm going to take it out of its bag. Okay, so here we have the actual keyboard. If I turn it around for the camera, you can see that it looks like that. This is a one-up keyboard with a CE logo on it, which if I'm honest I don't like that, so let me just get that off. Left a tiny bit of glue behind, but never mind that. So this is a one-up mechanical keyboard. I've never heard of one-up before I found this keyboard. I've tried to do some Google searches for them, but I can't seem to find them. So yeah, that's it for one-up, I guess. You may notice this keyboard is the American layout. Now I won't show you the difference right now, but this is the US layout and I live in the UK, so we have like certain keys are in different places, but I'll do a little comparison later between my old keyboard and this new one. So my first impressions, what are they like? Well, the keyboard is a Cherry MX Blue keyboard. Every key on the keyboard is a Cherry MX Blue, so it's not just certain keys, literally every key on the keyboard is a Cherry MX Blue. This is the cable. It's a, well, just a standard USB cable, I guess. It feels quite flexible compared to other cables that sometimes they've been packed up for that long they've gone stiff. The actual USB bit itself is gold plated. Of course that has nothing to do with it. Also, the connectors inside are gold plated, so that will help with conductivity. And now we get onto the actual keyboard. So what does the build feel like? If I'm honest, the build feels very good and I'll tell you why in a minute. Right, turning it over, there's more information about the keyboard if you want to go and research it or something. But under here, as you can see, we have 2 feet which just flip down. And as you can see with the feet, there's like a plastic bit and then this end bit's a rubber bit, so it doesn't slide across the surfaces. A smooth surface such as this table. There's also 2 rubber feet down there, and there's 2 like little rubber stoppers there that the keyboard rests on when you've got the feet folded down. Right, turning the keyboard back over. Oh yeah, also all of the like black underneath is plastic. But now this is where the good bit comes in. Do you see this like silver bit of the keyboard? That is actually metal. So yeah, it's a fully, well, not fully metal construction, but a considerable amount of it is made out of metal, and that means it doesn't bend, it doesn't flex. It's very nice. I don't actually know what type of metal this is. I think it might be aluminium, but I'm going to go and do the magnet test on it, because aluminium or aluminum, however you want to call it, is not magnetic, whereas steel and iron usually is magnetic. So I'm just going to go and get a magnet. Right, so here are 2 magnets. The reason why there's 2 of them is because I just keep them together like that. But let's do a magnet test. I guess it is magnetic to an extent, but it doesn't feel like the... no, it's sticking to something that's on the other side of the metal, as if I put it here, see, it just slides off. So I'm going to conclude that this silver metal, whatever it is, I'm going to guess that it is aluminium, because if I try and stick the magnet to the side of it, it just doesn't stick. And as you saw, and as you saw when I did the slide technique, that it didn't stick. In case you wonder what it stuck to there, it stuck to one of the LED bits. But yes, I believe that is it for the unboxing table part of this video. Now what I'm going to do is unplug my keyboard, do a quick comparison between the US and UK layout, then I'll plug it in and show you the different lighting thingies that it has. So yeah, I will be right back. I just need to go and unwire my current keyboard. So yeah, hello George. George has come to see me, haven't you? Hello. What are you doing? You were asleep and then I started recording and I guess I woke you up, so sorry about that. Oh yes, another feature of this keyboard, as you can see, there are LEDs behind every key. Now they are not RGB LEDs because they only show one colour, but each row on the keyboard has its own dedicated colour of LED light, and it's like a rainbow effect. I'll show you what I mean by that when I get to the actual video of where I show you the different lighting features it has. Anyway, I'm going to get my keyboard. Okay, so this keyboard at the top here, this is my old keyboard, I guess it is now. Still works perfectly fine. I just wanted to upgrade to a mechanical keyboard, so I'll be keeping this as a backup keyboard. Yes, this new keyboard does not feature any like macro keys or anything like that, and to be honest, I never use these macro keys anyway, so that really doesn't bother me. One thing that is kind of nice about this keyboard is the fact that it has media keys and this one doesn't. But I'll get used to that probably. Anyway, the UK versus US keyboard layout. First thing you might be able to notice, the size of the enter key. On the UK keyboard, the enter key is the height of 2 rows of keys. You see there, it's the height of 2 rows of keys. Whereas on the American layout, I don't even need to pick this one up. On the American layout, it's there. It's just 1 key row's height. Another difference is if we look up here at the 2 and 3 keys, you can see that on the UK layout it is a like speech mark and a pound symbol, which is the UK currency, whereas on the American layout it is a @ symbol and a hashtag, which I believe out of the UK is also called a pound symbol, but don't quote me on that, I've read that somewhere. Now the next change is this key that's down here on the UK keyboard, the like vertical line and backwards slash, I guess that is. So that one there is no longer down here, it's up here above the enter key, right there. And as for like I think that's sort of it for the layout, except this keyboard does also have a function key, whereas this one doesn't. This one's got an Alt-Ger key, and this one's got a function key. Oh, that also has a right Alt. I don't know what the Ger bit stands for. See, it says Alt-Ger. Anyway, that's it for a quick little comparison between the UK and US layout. I think I've covered all the keys. There's not many differences. I think the ones that I've mentioned are the biggest, most obvious changes. There might be a few that I haven't mentioned, and I've literally just noticed this right now. Remember I said how I find it really useful that this one has media keys and volume up and down keys? Just noticed on this one here, look, F5 through to F8, media keys, F9 through to F12, volume down, volume up, mute, and calculator. Which, I guess when I'm like doing finances, a calculator will come in handy. So yeah, but look, I have found my media keys. I'm happy now, I've got my media keys as well. Anyway, George, you're going to need to get off my desk. No, George, that's my chair. George. Look at him, he's sitting on my chair. George, I need to plug my new keyboard in to show the people on the internet the fancy lights. Yeah, I do. That's my chair you're sitting on. So if I just go and oh, my computer's already turned on. So if I go and turn my computer on, we should see these light up. There we go. Is that, oh, it's going a bit flickery to do with the refresh rate and stuff. Let me see if I can sort that. Okay, I've sorted out the flickering issue by setting the shutter speed to 30, which means for this part of the video it will be in 30 FPS. Anyway, this is the keyboard once it's lit up. Like I said, each row has its own individual key, its own individual colour. The current settings of the lights, this is a constantly on setting, which is the setting I'll probably use the most. This SL key up here goes through the different light modes. So we've got the always on, then we have the that's always off, well that's just off. So we've had the on, we've had the off. We've got this one which looks like it hasn't done anything, but this one is like when you type it lights up the key you are typing and then it slowly fades out. So yeah, that's that one. The next one is like a spiral in that it does, which I find is quite annoying, so I probably won't use that one. Right, this is another one that when you type it you sort of have a ripple out effect of whichever key you press. The next one is the like stacking Tetris whatever, which is also quite annoying, so I probably won't use it. The next one is a like shifting through the keys, and it looks like they all group together at one end, and then it just like builds itself. So I'll let you watch this, I'm not going to skip any of it, I'm just showing you the different effects. So as you just saw, this lighting feature like goes to one side, builds up, goes across, and then goes to the other side, builds up, and then dissipates again. Moving on to the next one, which is the, as you can see the lights are sort of dimming down. It's sort of a ripple, but it's like a dimming ripple instead of a brightening ripple that like goes across the keyboard. The next one is, I actually don't know. Oh, this one is the one that you type and it lights up the key you are holding and the keys surrounding that one key. So yeah, I guess could use that feature, but I probably won't be using it. I'll probably just be using the always on. And then we go back, oh no, this is the fade in, fade out feature. Well, lighting feature, whatever. So that just fades in and fades out. And are we back to always on? And we are back to always on, so the next one should be off. Yep, so how many are right? This is off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so there's 7 feet. Oh no, 8. So there's 8 of them. Is that correct? I don't know. So it's off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. From the off, there's 9 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then there's always on, which I guess could be the 10th one, because when you press it for the 10th time, it goes off. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. So that is it for the lighting bit of the video. Now I guess I'm going to do a typing test. This is my first ever time using mechanical keyboard, so I'll need to get used to it, especially the shorter enter key. Oh yeah, also the pound symbol that's not on the US keyboard, I'll just do the Alt command, which is Alt 0163, I believe it is. Anyway, I'm now going to do a typing test of this keyboard. Okay, so here is a typing test. I know you can do like online words per minute, but I'm a quick typer, but I get many mistakes due to the quick typing. So I've just got a Microsoft Word document open. So what should I type? This is my first ever time using, see, mistake already, using a mechanical keyboard that features the Cherry MX blue switches, which are those clicky ones. And now I'll just go back and correct my clicky. Is that? Oh, apparently clicky is not a word. A keyboard. Feature the Cherry MX blue switches, which are those switches that have a nice click to them when using the keyboard. However, some people don't like the clicky's not a word, don't like the click, so they get the Cherry MX Red or another switch that doesn't click. There's a few spell mistakes, so I'll just clear those up. This is my first ever time using a mechanical keyboard that features a Cherry MX blue switches, which are those switches that have a nice click to them when using the keyboard. However, some people don't like the click, so they get a Cherry MX Red or another switch that doesn't click. Another type of switch that doesn't click. Okay, so there's a quick little typing test that I did with the keyboard. I do like the typing on it, but my old Corsair keyboard, that had a solid red colour throughout the keys, so I'm not yet familiar with the multiple colours, which did sort of throw me off, but I managed to overcome that. But I'll get used to that as I use the keyboard more and more, so that doesn't really bother me. So far, first handling, first look of this keyboard, I like it. First ever, did I even take a switch off to prove it was a blue keyboard? Anyway, you can hear from the clickiness it's a blue keyboard, and I just ruined the paragraph I wrote. There we go. So yeah, I'll get used to the keyboard more as I use it, but first impressions, I really like it, especially the metal construction. I did get this off eBay, and I know that I have not been able to find much information about OneUp, but if you want this keyboard, I'll post a link to it down in the description below. There's two variants. There's a variant with the black keys, which is the one I got due to the high contrasting colours between the metal and the keys, but you can also get one in white keys if you prefer that. Unfortunately, the lights are not reprogrammable. Hang on, look, I've just found more keys. So if we hold the function key, and then if I press down, it dims the keys, and up, brightens them, dims them. Can you see that? Can I hold it? No, you need to tap it. So yeah, that brightens the keys. What does that do? That doesn't seem to be doing anything. That doesn't do anything while holding the function key. Okay, does the calculator key work? Okay, that's just gone to the save as key. Yeah, I'll need to tell my computer that this is a US layout. There we go, I've reprogrammed the computer to recognise this input device as an American device. So when I hold the shift key and press 2 and 3, I get the @ symbol and the hashtag symbol. So now no, it's still save. What am I doing? You need to hold the function key. There we go, now it works. You're probably shouting at the screen, I do apologise. Does the volume down works, volume mute works? As for those, I don't know, because I don't have any media playing, and I'm not going to play any media because for copyright reasons. That's been the unboxing, typing test, showing off lights, first impressions of this keyboard. I really like this keyboard so far. I might do an update video on it, maybe in a couple of months once I've got familiar with it, and then give you a more in-depth explanation of my feelings regarding this keyboard. So what I hadn't done is turn the lights off and shown you this keyboard in the dark, but I have since done that. I've actually turned the brightness down, but I can brighten them up like that. But I use them on the lowest brightness because, I don't know, I just find the lowest brightness is more calming on the eyes. It's not as dazzling. I did the same thing with that Corsair keyboard, the K30 that I had before. As you can see, it is currently flickering, but that's due to a feature that I don't like about this camera. and that is when I adjust the exposure, it changes the shutter speed. Hang on, does it? 'Cause I know sometimes with this camera, manually changing another setting may put another one to auto. Yeah, it's done the same thing. So as you can see, I've now put the shutter speed to 30, which means the lights will no longer flicker, but due to me doing that, it's automatically adjusted the exposure, and therefore there's now quite a bit of grain. But this is what I have to deal with, so yeah. That's my only complaint about this camera, is there's no true 100% manual mode. But anyway, there's the keys when they're really bright. There's the keys how I'll use them, and if I just pick it up so you can see it a bit better, so you can see the lighting around the keys a bit better. But yes, this is what this keyboard looks like in a low light environment when the lights are turned on. Now if I just adjust the exposure like that, so now I've adjusted the exposure, it's put the shutter speed back to auto, which means the lights now flicker. So apologies about that, but that's out of my control, it's the way the camera works. Anyway, that is the keyboard in a low light environment. It's not completely dark, I do have a lamp on over the other side of the room. Anyway, just before the video ended, I thought I'd throw in a dark view of this keyboard with the lights on. But that's it for this video, so thank you for watching, and I will speak to you in the next video.